Otik, how you doing?
Scuba, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well, thank you. We're talking about your appearance as a guest A&R on Hot Flush. I've run the label for 22 years and I'm the only person who's ever picked a tune.
That's pretty crazy. I feel pretty honoured.
Yeah, I mean,
be like that.
Thank you for doing it. So we have the release in question here.
Yeah.
It's by Andrew.
Yeah, one of the best up and comers I think I've heard in a while.
Yeah, tell me about him and tell me about how you found him and
I got an email through, like a promo email from for his first debut release on, it was Upfront Copy, which is Shed's imprint.
Right, yeah.
So obviously instantly I clicked on that because I was like, I want to hear what this sounds like. And it is kind of almost like, it's like an evolution of like, or like a amalgamation of like Shed and then like a lot of my other influences, kind of like the forward thinking, like Martin, all these kind of people, this kind of thick sound, but also with this kind of ethereal kind of edge to it, which is kind of what my music's about in the first place, you know.
Right.
So I kind of always had a bit of a soft spot for him because I've known him for his music for maybe like 2 years now.
Yeah.
So when I had this opportunity to do the whole guest there and other thing, I just thought the first person that came to my mind was Andrew. I think also because of the fact that he's not that well known,
Sure.
and I think that this would be a great opportunity for him to be heard by more people. And I think his sound just really fits the label because I think Hot Flush has always been a label that I've kind of like, it's a label that I grew up with, and it's always very forward thinking, kind of trying to think of the next kind of like step in dance music. And I kind of feel like Andrew is, well, I hope it is like, yeah, the next, one of the next big things in dance music.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting record actually, because I mean, we were talking about doing a single first and it's kind of like ballooned into, it's almost an album actually. It's 8 tracks. I mean, you've done a great remix for it as well.
Oh, thanks, yeah. I wanted to take it a little bit left because obviously his music is kind of similar, in a similar style to what I used to make, kind of more like breaksy, atmospheric, ethereal kind of stuff. And I'm kind of going more into the techno world now. So I thought, you know, let me take a step back, let Andrew do his thing with the breaks, and then I'll take it in more of a techno avenue.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a great piece of work. It's going to be out, I think, in 2 or 3 weeks' time.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah, you should all go out and buy it. Just before we go, tell me about your label, because I mean, obviously you have some experience in A&R, right?
I do now. Whereas I think when I started the label, it was actually mainly just for my own music.
Right.
I kind of get frustrated with labels, and I still do, I guess, to a degree, just because of how much music I actually make and the time that it takes for the record to come out once you've actually made the track.
Right.
Can be like 6 to sometimes even a year.
Yeah.
And I guess the way that I make music, maybe because I'm still not fully fledged yet, but I feel like the music I made a year ago just isn't as good as the music I'm making now.
Right.
And I kind of want to just keep putting it out, you know, at the time that it's made.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the point of Solar Body, was that I just wanted to put my own music out on my own terms as quickly as possible, as fluently as it's coming out of me. I can kind of get it out into the world as well. And then I put out like 4 records, and then it kind of, 4 records, and then I just started getting lots of offers from other labels, and I was tied up with them, and then the label kind of fell by the wayside a little bit. And then just kind of got the idea to kind of try and expand the universe a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm working with Adam. We're just going to, and Chris, we're going to try and build something proper, like a proper universe out of the label. And I've already, been speaking to a bunch of artists, got a few already confirmed and lined up. And I guess I took a similar route in terms of like looking for the artists as I did with the Andrew record. Just kind of looking for a sound that was forward thinking, that also kind of represented me, and also like I guess the label. I guess more with Solar Body, it's a bit more personal. With Hot Flush, I had you in mind as well. I was kind of thinking more about you know, like how it would hit at the club. Whereas with Solar Body, I'm definitely thinking about that, but I'm also going to consider some artists that are kind of more artists, I guess, than club music kind of producers as well, to kind of expand the universe a bit. But
yeah, I mean, I think when I said you got experience A&Ring, I consider A&Ring my own music to be A&R, right? So when you're A&Ring yourself, I think you're still A&Ring, right? Because it's still, I mean, you're presenting music to the outside world, basically, which is really what the whole thing is, you know.
Yeah, and I guess you have to curate, because you kind of have this argument sometimes with people in the scene. They're like, well, you know, it doesn't really matter what songs go where, you know, it's just kind of show your your variety. But I kind of disagree. I feel like they kind of need to marry and kind of like complement each other, you know. And I guess that is A&R. I guess when you're kind of picking from a big pool of tunes that you made, like which ones are actually going to go on the EP. It's important that they meld together well, you know.
It's an artistic thing in itself.
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome. Well, listen, mate, thanks so much for your input on this, and we're going to do another one, right, as well. This is not the only one, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.